What is going on, lunatics? Guys, it's time to talk. We're talking all about the repeg. We're talking about the price action. Guess what? One of my buddies just gave you a show of support. It's not financial advice, but I'm always right.
Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid.
All right, guys, let's get into the price action. First, subscribe, like the comment. Anyway, we're seeing a breakdown of the price right now. And if you've been following me for any length of time, then you know that I am highly supportive of the price going down. And the reason for that is very simple. The lower the price, the more burn all day long. Now, listen, at the end of the day, we've burned 1.3 billion tokens so far, and that's without the support of Binance. It's without the support of on-chain transaction. We're having these problems with these people doing off-chain transactions, and the burn is not included in that. And you know what? At the end of the day, that's fine. Here's what we have to worry about. Interest. When interest is down in Luna Classic, then that means trading is down. Now, what sparks interest? Well, price movement is one of the things that will spark interest, but it will not be the end all be all. As we sit right now, you can see right here from this chart line, and I'm going to put back all of the chart lines. I know that annoy the absolute heck out of you, but you can see here we've broken this support line in the 4-hour chart. Now, when you've broken it over a 4-hour chart, you got one more chance to get yourself back in line. If not, then we can expect downside movement. Now, where does the downside movement settle? Where it looks like we're going to get a bounce at about 16.2. Looks like we might have another little bounce here around 14.5, but otherwise we're looking at a cascade down to 12.60. Now, if that scares you and if that makes you not want to be an investor because you can't handle burning more tokens or getting the supply reduced, if you're in this for the day trade, if you're in this for the short term, this is an opportunity for you to get out while you. This is not my move. My move is very simple. I told you guys in the beginning, I'm a long-term holder. I am staked over here. I have 10,318,000 now staked. I did stake my other 318,000. If you did not already know, that's resulted in 27,000 in additional rewards. Also in my wallet is 852 UST. Both of these are going to be here for the long haul because I am not scared by a little bit of dump in the price action because it's good and it's healthy for this token to have a cascade of dump. Because here's the thing, at some point this picks steam up again. We're going to start seeing an increase in the supply, and I'm about to show you why. And when we see that happen, the big issue is going to be how much is burned over like short periods of time, and will the price action affect? And the answer to that is the price action will affect how the price moves, or how much burn there is. Now, when we look over here, we see 1.3 billion have been burned so far, 792,000 of the USTC. Of course, obviously right here you can see that is a play on the price action. The price action does not look great, but it also has to be said, Luna Classic is no longer moving in accordance with the DXY. It's no longer moving with all of these other things right now. It's moving in unison with the market and of its own accord. And you can see that it is kind of cascading down, right? Ethereum is in the middle, cascading down right now. Bitcoin, same thing. I do predict Bitcoin prices going up, and we'll remove that. But you can see here that the downward trend of the market appears all over the place right here, except for some specific, right? So we have all of these things in place. We have all of these indicators. We have all these signals that we're waiting for before that big move. Now, the issue will address itself over time. And the big issue is this right here. The ABS system will be linked with the tranche concept so that when each wall breaks, the ABS will apply a break factor that will slowly start to throttle all send transactions from address accounts 0% to 100% when the last tranche breaks. Now, what we're talking about right here is the mechanism that must be considered for a catastrophic event for USTC and Luna Classic being repegged. But this is some technical details that are happening right now. They are deep into this right now. This will effectively leave the Oracle as the only remaining party on chain that can perform send operations. Thus, it can leverage the bank run to buy up its tranche asset at discount while slowly reducing the break factor. Okay? It's a balance between the open market requirements and regulatory needs. But the main thing is that it will be an on-chain version of LFG, and thus outside the human emotions like greed, fear, and confusion, which means that the burns are going to be happening not based on just one person doing it. That's why these guys are not concerned in the least with the price action that's going on right now with the participation or lack of participation from Binance. All of these things are going to get thrown out the window pretty soon because this is going to be about USTC and Luna Classic working in unison to repeg this thing and to burn tokens to get this thing back to, it's going to get USTC back to $1. It's going to get Luna Classic off of where it is right now. So this is an enormous thing. We have to build it in small increments so we can observe the overall behavior of the system due to the nature of replicated state, such as my initial design is based on what I like to call the Visa card model, where we simply add a 24-hour rolling spending window based on a simplistic market cap calculation that will go from 100% to zero as the break factor increases, thus eventually making it impossible to send any money if the break factor hits 100%. The market cap math will be replaced by a more advanced algorithm once the quants and I are done working on it, which will look at other factors like volume, size of the individual wallet, etc., based on what is possible inside our replicated state machine. It might end up bloating the chain size, which would then require us to figure out a second layer workaround if the increase in data needed to track send message transaction inside a rolling window is too great. But as it stands, I don't think we'll have a problem with that short term, as I have implemented an aggregation function to ensure we only maintain a single watch list entry for each unique wallet that is transact 24-hour rolling window. We will be building a Sentry ML Oracle, which will feed volatility signal to the system to arm the guards. However, AIs in general are really just very good at doing simple things at a high frequency. Trying to make an AI govern reducing advanced decisions would not produce a positive outcome. So we'll have an AI in place as a Sentry Oracle, but it will not be the end all be all. It's not going to control everything. And finally, I want to move on from this. I just want you guys to know we are deep into this repegging thing, and this is plan A that Edward Kim was talking about yesterday. This is the plan A that we're talking about. We're not relying on Binance for excuse me, we're not relying on Binance really for anything. This was just not a red herring, but this was just something because it was the first and easiest implementation on the repair of the chain. So guys, I think at this point, if you're not subscribed, if you haven't liked this, if you haven't left a comment down below, it's time to do that because this is the real. And finally, my man Rodney from My Crypto Journey, if you guys have not subscribed to his channel, go subscribe to him. Now listen, Rodney's going to tell you the truth when you want to know what's going on with Luna Classic. His perspective is going to be that of more of a day trader, but in this instance, I want you guys to see here, still holding Luna Classic in the Terra Station wallet, not touching it unless it hits my goal of a 10x. Let's see what happens. So guys, just like me, Rodney is sitting on this. We're waiting to see what happens, and we do believe that these guys have a great plan to implement. Now, in closing, I want you to remember there were a lot of people that jumped on the Luna Classic bandwagon. Those people were not always your friend. There are people out there that told you this is a pie in the sky and great things could happen. They also abandoned the moment Binance didn't do something. Those are not your friends. Those are just people talking about your product. Those of us that are finding workarounds, those of us that are finding reasons to continue holding, those of us that are still reminding, like Rodney right here, that this is still possible and that there are still game mates. People like that, those are the people following for your news, for your information, and that's all I can say at this point. So guys, remember this is a moment in time where we just have to have a small amount of patience. Forget about what's going on in Luna Classic. Allow the burns to continue. Wait, Luna Classic pegging. You know that it's coming. I told you before it was December. Of course, when we told you it was July before for the burning, it took until September. So let's not hold them to December. Could be January, could be February. But there's no such thing, really and true, as overnight million. It happens in the rarest of occurrences, but it's lightning in a bottle. Could this be lightning in a bottle? I mean, maybe, but the likelihood is that this is more a process. And could this process lead to an incredible run? Absolutely. But the time has to take place in between to get all of the in place so that what it is that we want to see happen actually can happen. That's my time, guys. It's not financial advice. My name's Bleed. It's not financial advice. I'm always right. Like, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified of new content. Leave a comment down below so that this is trending so that everybody knows. And see you again for Breakfast with Bleed, Monday morning, 8 a.m. Central Time. Be there, Square. That's your choice, Square.
I'm looking for the good life, good life. Sitting on top of the world, I wanna be shining.